Hey everyone, in this episode we're going to talk about the new film Smallfoot. We're going to talk about the animation, the cast, and more. This is episode 79 of the Reel-ists podcast. Hey everyone, it's Donnie.
And Oscar.
And we have our producer Ruben.
Hello.
Hello, Ruben says. And you guys are listening to the Reel-ists podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hopefully you heard our new theme song, courtesy of DJ Apnick. We want to thank DJ Apnick for giving us a new theme song. Man, we sure do appreciate it. It's fire. It's lit.
It's lit. I'm just trying to keep up with
fire emoji.
With the cool terms now.
So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
If you guys are a first-time listener, welcome to the Reel-ists podcast. We appreciate you choosing us. Here we like to talk about films, and we consider how certain scenes and aspects tie into real life. We might not be doing a ton of that with this episode because we are covering a animated film, but we've done it with many of our other episodes.
Try.
We gonna do our best.
We're gonna do our best.
If you're a returning listener, thank you so much for returning to us. We greatly appreciate it. As always, we are on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Team Reel-ists. I won't spell it. And you can also listen to us and leave us a comment on YouTube and iTunes.
It's going to be the week people are going to be like, how do you spell it?
Right? Do you guys want me to spell it?
I don't know what you were.
Who wants me to spell it out there?
I don't know why you left it for a question.
You know what? Fine, I'll spell it. It's Team Reelists. No dash.
How do you spell team?
Team Team Reelists. No dash. One more time. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully you guys got that.
I was like, no one asked. No, we get how to spell.
You tell us this every week.
You thinking we don't spell? You think we from fifth graders listening to this episode?
No, seriously. Just want to, make things easier on our listeners. So I think with all that being said, I don't think we have any housekeeping other than to just continue to spread the word on the Reel-ists podcast. Tell everyone you know, and that's pretty much it. So I think we can get into our episode of Smallfoot.
Spoiler alert, just letting everyone know.
Thank you.
Always.
You're really good about that. I'm actually not good about that. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, you know what to do. Migo is a friendly Yeti whose world gets turned upside down when he discovers something that he didn't know existed, a human. He soon faces banishment from his snowy home when the rest of the villagers refuse to believe his fantastic tale. Hoping to prove them wrong, Migo embarks on an epic journey to find the mysterious creature that can put him back in good graces with his simple community.
All right.
In a nutshell. So, Oscar, what did you think? Give me some initial thoughts on Smallfoot.
It was a good film. And I'm going to say a good film because it wasn't one that stood out to me necessarily with the musical numbers and the storyline for different reasons. Primarily just because I felt like this one was a little too, I don't want to say unreliable, but it had this sense of like lack of attention to like the real world of how it's going to work. With like all the Yetis living at the very top of the snow mountain and no one being aware, and there's like a cloud over it, and there was always like a divide. Given that there's like planes and helicopters that go over, I feel like they would have been spotted at some point. Mm-hmm. So that whole like they've been on their own for a long time was really hard to believe, especially the amount of them there. Like I can understand if it was like a group of like 20 maybe, but they were like
it was a whole community,
almost,
it was a village of them, like exactly. A little town of them.
And there's that. And to me, it's not always a good sign when you don't remember the character's name. Because to me, Migo is the only one that I remember, and Brenda's not even a main character.
I know. Why did that one stick out to us so much? She's like not even a huge character in this.
That
film.
One was just one that it was just like they kept. Well, I think there was a song dedicated to her. But yeah, it was nice though in terms of the characters. I really did appreciate the characters. I loved the personalities. Even even the Smallfoot. I guess I don't even know his name. The human main character, but I'm just gonna call him Smallfoot because that's
his name was Percy.
Ah, that makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. But yeah, so Smallfoot, as I'm going to continue with that, he definitely, was understandable. He wanted, his views, and he wanted to be, internet sensation, covering, animals. I get that.
Kind of like a modern day Steve Irwin, if you will.
Right, exactly. Yes. So that was really nice. I liked that. Like I said, all the Yetis, they had great personalities. The dad was, it felt really like a lovable dad to his son. The son just wanted to do his part in the community. The only one that I was really not a fan of, and which is intentional because that's how they made it for the movie, was the leader, the Stonekeeper, who to me was just one of those. It's just like, you old, outdated person, like clearly getting with the times.
Very, very much an archetype, like that character, like the kind of leader, the wise man, if you will, and he's sticking to that traditional way of thinking about things instead of progressing.
Exactly, but it makes sense in why he explains it. When he does explain it with Migo, it makes sense. I completely understand that part.
Yeah.
So that was an understanding. That's why I got why they did that. The also thing that I wanted to mention was it was a slow beginning. It took a while for me to get used to it. It wasn't until our main characters met for the first time and they had that whole interaction and they were going up together. It had a slow start. It built it up after that, but then it started to kind of lose its momentum as it was concluding, and then it kind of brought it back up just in time to conclude it. So there was an odd pace to it. And yeah, so that was just my initial thoughts. I realized I was like, I need to do like a 5 minute.
Giving your full coverage review here.
I'm getting used to just going all out now.
I know. I'm like, what is this, your YouTube channel? No, I get what you're saying. I'm right there with you. Let me just say, for the record, I did not know that this was a musical.
Is it
I mean,
really?
it's not a full-blown musical, but
it has musical numbers.
It had musical numbers throughout.
Which is expected with a kid.
I didn't expect it, though.
I'm saying, like, you're not too surprised that it has it, but it's very common with kids.
I guess I should have known, like, with Zendaya, like with Zendaya being in it, there's going to be some, music in it. Even James Corden, because he's a very musical guy. But so that was a nice surprise. It's not like it was a bad thing. But I'm right there with you. The film was, for the most part, it was a cute film, a cute family film. For a second, I forgot what film we were watching, because when I went in the theater and then I heard what trailer was it that the Lego.
The Lego movie.
The Lego movie too, and then I heard kids being all giddy about it, and I was like, oh, whoa, there's a bunch of kids in here. That's right, we're watching Smallfoot. It's a kids film.
Right.
So I was a little thrown off by that, but it was a nice film. The animation was. It
was nice.
It was nice.
I can't complain about the animation.
Yeah, I thought it was. This was what studio was it?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Yeah. Okay.
Warner's animation group.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, the animation was good. I really did like even the look of the characters. They were I didn't expect that they were going to be so largely drawn, or compared to the humans. They're really, really, really big.
Yes.
I know Bigfoot is supposed to be this big creature, but I guess I always imagined him to be, maybe 7 to 8 feet tall. But I feel like these Yetis in this movie were
bigger,
really size of a small building, kind of big.
They were. No, I mean, if you remember some of the scenes when they were in the land, in the human land, I guess we can call it, they were seeing the top of the lights, eye level of the signs of the stores and restaurants.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But it was cool. I liked it. I thought you know what, to be honest, I don't know if I was a little tired.
Do we have a dad alert?
Seriously. Hey, and it's not that it was because it was an animated film, because we saw Incredibles 2 and I was hooked.
I was at 10:30,
and that was at night. And we had worked some, went to work that day, and so the fact that it's an animated movie is not what made me doze off a little bit here and there.
Maybe it was just your nap time hours.
I think so. Yeah, we did go at prime napping time on 1:30.
Right.
I'd say that's yeah.
I mean, I found myself getting tired at parts, and I feel like that was part of the pacing, because the beginning was, despite the upbeat musical numbers and a lot of energy in the beginning, it wasn't going anywhere. It was kind of just like saying, this is what we're doing. So now we're singing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And it didn't feel like it was progressing until we finally had Percy appear in the movie for the first time and had that started to roll. And then it started to get interesting with that interaction, because that's what we really wanted. We didn't want a whole movie dedicated to, these Yetis and just how they live their lands. We wanted that interaction where they meet a human, because that's what it's advertised.
Right.
As you can see on the posters when they have Percy on the thing on Migo's hands. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was waiting for, and it took a while to get to that. So so there was slow times. I absolutely understand that.
Yeah. But it was fine. And that's another thing too. I feel like, especially with, not so much with films, but like with television, with animated series, like I feel like they're always trying to keep the kid engaged. So there's like all this constant.
Teen Titans Go is like the best example.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just, it never lets up. It never lulls. It's just always like constant stimulation, and images and bright colors and like crashes and sounds. And, so it's like, I can appreciate, and yes, I did doze off, but that was because it was my nap time. But I can appreciate when an animated film doesn't, need to always be constantly throwing something at you for the entire 1 minute and 49 minutes of the film. It can have some slower moments. So I did like that. And the storyline itself was nice and pleasant, and kind of, I like at the end they kind of were trying to, in a sense, bridge together these two communities that didn't know each other existed really, and were pretty much petrified of one another. Like the humans were so afraid of the Yetis and looked at, because they were these big creatures, so they saw them as dangerous and deadly, and then the Yetis saw the humans as like the same thing pretty much. So
what I will say, it was accurate in terms of how we responded to them, and like they showed like images of like them in the past being attacked, and it wasn't always a friendly encounter. Mm-hmm. I still feel like we would be like that today. Like, I know the movie trying to make it seem like we've grown and we're going to respect and want to be connected to them, but I still feel like if it's a threat to the human species, we're gonna fight until we feel like we have the hand.
Right.
So I don't know if that was a realistic ending, so to speak, of like, I know there's always going to be a few people, as always, but that's going to be like, yes, let's connect with them, let's learn from them, they can teach us something as we can teach them, but majority is going to be like, take them down, get them.
Exactly.
So that was a realistic portrayal of how they were perceived and why they went up. Understanding that part was great. The ending to me was just like, oh, okay, it's a kid film, I get it.
Right. For sure. But good message, I'd say, especially for kids. So I wanted to talk about the cast, because there were a few people that I didn't know were voicing some of these characters, and then there were some other ones that we were kind of surprised as we saw the end credits rolling. So we had, I have it right here. So we have LeBron James, who played Gwangi, Zendaya, who played Michi, Channing Tatum, who played Migo, James Corden played Percy, Gina Rodriguez played Coca, Common was the Stonekeeper, Danny DeVito was Dorgal, the dad. And then we have some other people that I don't personally know, but Yara Shahidi, Jimmy Tatro, Ellie Henry, Patricia Heaton, Justin Roiland.
Hey, that's the guy that does Rick and
Justin
and
Roiland?
Yeah.
He does
Rick and Morty's voice.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that. And Jack Quaid. So, are any of those surprises to you?
That one was the Justin.
Well, that's a surprise to me now, because I didn't know. I didn't even know who it was.
But LeBron James was a surprise. At first I thought maybe, because I had heard he was going to be involved, but I thought it was just more of like a little like a one-liner, or some kind of joke of like, oh, he's a basketball star Yeti kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to see that he was actually a different character, and he actually had a lot of lines, not too many as a supporting character, but also Danny DeVito was one that surprised me, because I don't think I've heard his name in a while.
I didn't know. Yeah, I had no. It's funny because as soon as I heard the dad in the film speak, I knew it was Danny DeVito. He has a pretty distinct voice, but I don't remember his name being I mean, maybe I just didn't pay attention, but I don't remember his name being advertised. So I was pretty thrown off. Not thrown off, but surprised. But I was like, whoa, Danny DeVito's in this? What? So that was cool.
And Gina Rodriguez was the other one that to me was like, oh, that was nice. I didn't see that. I knew Zendaya, James Gordon, and Channing Tatum. Yeah.
Yeah, and Common.
And Common, yes.
Speaking of Common, I have to say that, so there was maybe 4 musical numbers in this film?
4 or 5.
4 or 5, maybe?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, if we're being real here, none of them really left a mark on me. They were all nice films. They were all films. They were all nice songs. And I think they did a good job in their purpose in the film, tying together storylines and expressing, whatever. But some of they weren't memorable. Like I can't even remember how the melody of any of them go. The only memorable song for me was Common's rap, or the Stonekeeper's kind of rap, when he kind of revealed to Migo that the clouds, below them weren't really clouds, they were steam, and that they were being produced by, the village people to keep to keep them distanced from the humans. And he did that, he revealed all that information in song form in a rap, which that was like the most memorable song out of this film for me. But the other ones, I can't say I'm going to go to bed like humming them, or I want to go download them. I don't know. This didn't do it for me.
I mean, I agree. The music, unfortunately, when hearing it, you're just like, oh, that's nice. A positive message song, the first one was like about perfection, doing the best in the day or something like that. And then there was one that was kind of, I forgot what it was. It was in the beat of a hit song, a well-known song. It's just obviously not well enough for me to remember the song. Do you know what I'm talking about when Percy was getting Brenda to still stick with him, and he was like the karaoke style. There was it was a parody to some other song. I just can't remember. There was a romance song about
Oh dang, it's coming. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. It's on.
But it was like a lot of the cliche kids songs, like songs that you hear for kids. And yeah, none of it sticked. None of it was one that I see myself playing ever again, or even hearing again. I honestly, if it's not from the movie, I don't think I'm ever gonna hear some of these songs outside of it. Like to me, like Happy or some of the Disney, like Frozen, some of those that you heard outside of the movie because it was good to some extent.
And that brings me to my next point. I mean, I don't want to drop I'm not trying to drop the D word on this episode, but I mean, is it because this wasn't like a Disney film that, the music? I mean, Disney films, we know all those songs. I mean, even the newer ones, like we know that we're singing the songs from Coco, we're singing the songs from Moana, we're singing the songs from Frozen. Like every Disney movie that comes out has like a standalone song, like an anthem that is played not just in the movie, like everybody knows it. This film, there's no song like that. So do you think it's because it wasn't, they didn't have the heavy hitters that Disney brings on?
I mean, yes, that's always a possibility. It's always a what if. No, but I mean, Warner Brothers has ability to make still good songs. Like Everything Is Awesome from the Lego Movie is one that you still hear outside of the movie. So I mean, it's possible. They definitely can make it. They're not used to it, I think, is what the situation is. That their team probably doesn't have that natural, like, okay, what kind of music would be good to keep playing, or they don't know the right people that can help them get that establishment in the same way that Disney has their connections. So I don't necessarily say because it's not a Disney movie, therefore it can't make it happen. Because studios can. It's a mixture between finding the right lyrics for a song to be catchy enough with the right tune, and I think this one was focused more on the message, than the actual let's make this
like the melody, like let's make the music, the musical structure and the composition.
This was more assisting the movie so we can understand these characters' position. Rather than that's it. That's the only case, because I know a lot of movies, a lot of musicals, a lot of animated movies have music that does both. Either it gives a break to enjoy a song and it's mainly for the song fun, or it's moving the story forward.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think it was because of Disney. I don't think it was because it was not by them that the music didn't go well. I feel like you know, you have A Star Is Born coming out. that's why Warner
Okay,
Brothers.
I mean, that's a little...
That's why Warner Brothers too. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like they just weren't focused on making a hit song in this movie.
Yeah, I gotcha. And like I said, I mean, I don't think they were marketing this as like a animated musical or by any means. Like, we didn't know.
I don't think
like,
it was the primary focus.
Yeah,
of it.
so like, I mean, and for sure, and like we said, I mean, the songs were pleasant. They were, if you're listening to them, you're like, this is a nice song. It helps with the storyline. The message is clear. It works for the scene. The singing was good. You know, it just wasn't.
I mean, I would play it for my kids.
Right.
Like, yeah, I definitely would.
It just wasn't like, no, you know, it wasn't memorable. It wasn't like, let it go.
Right. It's not one where you find
go.
yourself singing afterwards in the same way like a lot of countless movies has some songs that do it.
For sure.
And not all Disney.
Yeah. So I think this was this was our third animated film we've seen this year. We saw Incredibles 2.
Teen Titans Go.
Teen Titans Go to the movies. Is that it that we've seen?
No,
animated
there was
was
another one we saw.
Hotel Transylvania came out, but we didn't see that one.
We did not yet. Wink, wink.
No,
there was another one.
Full on animated.
Earlier in the year, there was another animated movie.
Really?
Yes. But I get what you're saying. It's been a low number of animated movies.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, because I'm just so far out of all the animated films we've seen, I'm still gonna stick with Incredibles 2 as being the best one. So I was just curious to know if this one was, on your on the top of your list. Did it beat out anything else, or you think it was just like a nice film, but it wasn't your favorite animated film? Are you looking it up?
Yes.
I feel like if we can't remember it, then it's probably maybe
it's not
it wasn't
a good sign. That's true. I just know that there has to have been another one. It can't just be those two.
I think it is. I think it's because you're thinking of kid movies like Peter Rabbit and.
Yeah.
That could be.
You guys watched a couple of kid movies.
Yeah.
But there should have been. I feel like there should have been more animated movies that have come out.
Yeah, I guess we didn't watch them.
No.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of hard then. It's kind of by default. I mean, we have great selections coming up. We have Wreck-It Ralph coming up, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So we have some competition coming up to challenge Incredibles 2. But
as of right now, Incredibles 2 is sitting at the top of the throne.
Right. With small, I would say Smallfoot's in second. Teen Titans Go would probably still be in the bottom.
Yeah, I'd agree. Same thing. I agree with you, Oscar. Everything you say, I agree with you.
So this is the Oscar podcast?
Right, seriously. Like, dang, can Donnie have an original thought? All right, without...
The Grinch is the other one that's coming out.
Which one?
The Grinch. Isle of Dogs, if you count that as animated.
Oh, okay. What was that? Stop motion?
Yeah, that'd be more in this. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's also wasn't like a kid's film too. It was PG-13, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'm not. I would leave that one out for now.
But yeah, okay. Then if that's the case, then yes, because that eliminates Christopher Robin. That has that kind of.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's no.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
I guess the kids movies we have seen more than just those two, but animated.
Strictly animated. Yeah.
Strictly animated.
It's only been 3. So all right, cool. Well then, with all that said, Oscar, what would you give this film, Smallfoot? Final real score.
This one is going to be a 3 out of 5. I knew this one already.
Dang, yeah, you were ready to go.
This was one that
you didn't even let me finish my question.
Because it came out on my birthday. Gets one. Just
yeah, that's right.
No, that's not a factor into this. No, but it really was a good story, a good movie in terms of, it wasn't anything that you didn't see before in that sense. Like it was unique in its own way. The story was interesting in its moments, not entirely. So that's a fault there. To me, it was a little kind of, I know it's animated, I know it's a kid's film, but it was still one of those where it was like, well, there's some questions that's like, how is this actually happening? Like to be that tall, that high in the mountain, I know like the movie interpreted that, Percy was getting sick as time went on, but I don't feel like it was that enough. I felt like that was too much time. Cause he really had almost nothing, not to be in like a very cold degree, top of the mountain condition. I mean, if you see like some of those like movies or documentaries, like you have to be full on equipped, like with thick gloves, 5 coats, 5 beanies. Like you have to be really well prepared, and he was not. Like he had no hat on. He was just, he just had a hood that was off. I mean, I don't know how quickly you can get cold, so those are some things like.
And he was also getting dropped by these creatures. He was getting knocked over by them, and these were humongous creatures,
right?
So he was like falling.
They did one realistic when he when Migo touched him on accident and like knocked out a tooth. That was like,
oh yeah.
But everything else, no, he was fine. Like,
I know,
no
right?
injuries, but.
Like,
So
man,
those things like that kind of was just like a little bother. It's like, I know it's for kids, but if you add a little bit of realism, it helps for adults to some extent.
For sure.
And yeah, it was a nice story, but it didn't pass that expectation. It didn't go anything above and beyond. Not too many memorable scenes that, you're really stuck on and just like, oh, let's watch that again for that particular scene.
Right.
So 3 out of 5 is going to be my score for this movie.
I gotcha. I'm also gonna give it. I swear I was gonna give it this score. I'm also gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Like I said, it was a cute film, great for family, for kids. It did have like a good message, and the music was pleasant to listen to. The animation was done nicely.
I think the animation was really well done.
And the storyline was interesting. It's just. It was, there was just nothing memorable. There was nothing stand out about it. There's nothing that's going to make me think about all the films I've seen in 2018. And there's nothing that's going to make me go, oh, Smallfoot, you guys got to check that out.
Right. Unless you're filtering very specifically, like, kid animated movies that star LeBron James.
Right, exactly.
Unless you're filtering very specific to Smallfoot.
Yeah.
But I do want to briefly just cover, the animation on the Yetis were really well done to, like, everyone had their own style. And it felt real, like not real, like we can like it looks real, but like they weren't clean. It wasn't clean and like, oh, it's just a white palette of like their fur. Yeah, it felt like the actual fur. That was really cool.
Like it was textured. And
it was
there
really,
was
and the, like
detail.
His friends, each one had a different
look.
One. Yeah, and it felt right.
They personalized everyone. It's not like they just said, oh, you all are Yetis, you all look alike,
and you all have like this. Just like, oh, you're female, so you're yellow, all yellow. But like it was like a natural haired. Mister have some skin. I really thought they were gonna explain, and they didn't, why one of his horns was broken.
Right?
I figured the dad was because he was like always
hitting his head on the gong.
Like that was his job. I feel like, oh, that makes some natural sense. I really wanted them to explain why. I thought that was gonna be part of the story. When I saw the poster and I see that doesn't have one, I figured like, oh, maybe that might be because he encountered the person,
or maybe it's like a Finding Nemo thing. When he was a baby, he got their family got attacked and his horn broke.
Something that would have explained it. It was just very odd, artistic choice to have and not explain, and not to like spoon feed of like, oh, this is why he looks blue. Like not to do like every specific thing, but that's an important feature for the character.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. I was waiting for an explanation. Some sort of explanation that said that too. But maybe they were just like, we're just gonna go with it.
It was funny.
Just gonna break their horn just cause.
There was some funny moments, like when he was the inability to communicate. So when sometimes you would hear from the human side and it'd be like raw, and from his side it'd be
I liked that. That was nice.
3 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, me too. 3 out of 5. So let us know, listeners, what you guys think about the movie Smallfoot. If you loved it, if you hated it, if you think it was one of the more memorable animated films that have come out this year, or if you think that it was one that was unfortunately a little more unforgettable.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many. I think there's Sherlock Gnomes, Hotel Transylvania. I think there's about like 5 or 6 as of right now that's come out. So.
I mean, and these are like big theater release ones,
releases,
not just like. I mean, I'm sure there's many more on like Netflix or
right. No,
Hulu,
but I'm saying the theatrical releases. So it's kind of. I would say, where would you put this up? I mean, I put it because we haven't seen the other two. There's 2 that are not qualified yet to be on our list. Unfortunately, soon, maybe, possibly,
perhaps.
Who knows? We'll see at the end of the year. But yeah,
I already know what your number one's gonna be.
No, you don't know. This is a competition.
Okay.
You think Max is just gonna be?
I think your top 2 are gonna be The Grinch and Wreck-It Ralph.
And then Incredibles.
And then Incredibles will be 3rd. For you, I think I still haven't seen the first Wreck-It Ralph, so I have to see that before I see this one.
But you can't rank it with the 2018.
No. I know. So we'll see. But yeah, listeners, let us know what you guys think. And one more thing, I just want to wish my coworker, my co-host sitting across from me, Oscar, a very special happy belated birthday. I said happy birthday to him on his actual day, but he brought it up, so I just wanted to bring it up. Your birthday did pass this weekend.
Yes.
So happy 26th birthday, bro.
Thank you.
Yay.
Everyone, go leave a comment on our on our episode somewhere. Just say birthday.
That's all he wants. That will put the cherry on top.
That is my birthday
of
wish.
A very special birthday.
Is just to get some comments and feedback from.
Exactly. I know, right? Please honor the birthday wish, guys. Honor the birthday wish. Thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time.
Thank you.